Alright, how's it going everyone? We're gonna do this pretty unscripted, but people were asking about free piece checks in Wild Canyon, and since it's a little bit confusing, I'm kind of just gonna use the mouse, and I recorded a few stages of gameplay, so we could look at that and compare how you pretty much do different sets. As Savik mentioned in the hunting channel, I do my checks pretty deliberately because I was having a bit of a hard time, I guess, seeing some of the pieces. So let's just get into it so I can show you what I mean. At the very beginning, if you're new to checks completely, I will show you how I do these checks, and I think most people do it in a similar manner, but it might be a bit different. Obviously, I didn't get every single piece that you could potentially check for. Can we frame advance on this? We're just going to have to go slow. So, at the very beginning, you want to be looking straight up here. There's going to be a piece right about here that's called the beginning room. If you're just looking at the top of your screen, you will not miss it. But by the time Knuckles lands, it'll be out of sight, so you won't be able to see it anymore. What I do after this is I look straight forward through the wind tunnel, right about here. There's going to be a piece moving across left to right, and when you run out, you'll be able to meet it on top of this pillar. So that's an important one to look out for. Next thing you want to do is you're going to shift your eyes over to this section. There's going to be a piece that's back that goes between, it's called between the two stone statues, and it's doing exactly that. It's moving back and forth here, and you're going to see it coming like this to this one. So you can look at this one, and also while you're panning your eyes to the right, you can hit the L button to see inside of this chest. Now there are two bird box pieces, this one and the one to the left of it over here. You can't check the other one with your camera, but this one you can. So you can see inside it completely and see if there's a piece. The next thing we want to check is right here. There's the back on a railway. So the on the railway actually doesn't load in until you're a bit closer, but there is an emerald piece in this, right? So we can see that because it has a longer draw distance. So you want to basically look in the middle as you're dropping, turn your camera, look in bird box, and then look over here and for between the two stone statues. At this point, it should be about here, the piece, somewhere in this section. So there is actually a set where you can see both of them at the same time. And in that case, I usually, I guess you could really do it either way, but it's probably better to grab on a railway and then grab the other piece, because the other piece will be going like this, and by the time you've grabbed on a railway, it's probably here. But honestly, neither option is really bad. That's something I'd have to time out. Anyway, let's continue. Oh wow, some bad artifacting. So as you can see, we actually have an example here. There is a piece right here. This is another one you can check for. This piece is also involved in in the IL set. So if you get this in bird box, you're pretty likely to get the IL set. Let's try this. Oh, nice, cool. Thanks, Pichu. Wait, we lose some of our options. Never mind, I won't be using that. But yeah, so this is one of the pieces. If you don't get this piece, you don't really see this much here. Well, let's go to a different thing, because I want to show off some of the other free piece checks. So you do all of those checks, you didn't see anything, you haven't seen Storm Zone. I know there is a way to see some of these pieces that I'm going to talk about earlier, but in the way that I do it, I don't really see them. So here I go to the left of the wind tunnel so that I can exit if I need to, because there is one piece here called By a Tall Pillar. There's a piece here named Pillar Without a Treasure. And then there's a piece here called On the Lap of a Wall Painting. And it's, I would guess, here or here? Yeah, either way, it's right around here. You can see all three of these right here, and if you're riding the outside of the wind tunnel, you can get out of it really easily. This is something that I think I see a lot of people struggle with. Past even just that, here, this is really important to have your camera in this position. I can show it off later. You can see Storm Zone. There's another piece called Storm Zone that's at the bottom of this wind tunnel. You can see this one right here, and there's also another piece here floating that's called Terrace with Two Legs, piece 3. You can see both of these pieces. They are free pieces, but I see a lot of people, even top runners, miss these all the time. And also, at that same vein, you can just keep your eyes here, because there's another free piece that can spawn here. Now, usually you won't see me check. Yeah, see, I actually did see Storm Zone. I didn't even see it in the recording. Wow, that was a good spot. Let's see where I saw it. Right there. This one is a bit harder to spot, and you need your camera in a really nice location, so it is pretty difficult, but you can see it, as shown off there, which is why I do my camera like this. And then if you do get a piece on the bottom, like a piece 1 or a piece 3 like this, when you jump back in the wind tunnel, you want to be looking, because you're going to have a good amount of time before the camera pans where you can see there's nothing here. Obviously, I have a piece 3, so I wasn't even checking, but you do have like a second or two to check this. Let's go to another set. I think the biggest thing that people really miss out on when they do... Oh yeah, this one was not a good example. When I think the biggest thing people... Okay, also, this piece is pretty big. Before I get into that, let's talk about this a bit. With this piece, you still want to do a lot of the same piece checks. The problem with this piece is when you get a yellow, it's either this piece or the one above it, so you're not really going to be able to do the 3 piece checks in the same way. So usually after I collect these pieces, I'll run back to the right, keep the camera over here, and you would be able to see Altar, the one that goes around in a circle, or between the 2 stone statues. Here, I might have missed it if it was here. This is a tricky one, but yeah, you just kind of got to get used to it. But yeah, so usually what I'll try to do, a big thing that people really lose a lot of time on is they stay inside of the wind tunnel for too long. And let's see if I have an optimal in here. It kind of looks like I'm not going to. But the wind tunnel is kind of slow. You want to escape this like as soon as you possibly can. So you do your checks here. Yeah, see, I still lost a little bit of time. But here it was to check my free pieces. And so I turn my camera and lock it, and I can see 1, 2, 3, all of these for a solid 2 seconds. And then I switch the camera back and go back to where I was headed. Really bad execution, but whatever. One thing I've noticed, let's see if I do this in any of these. I might do it in this one. One thing that I will try to do is I will only check one side for the free pieces. Yeah, this one isn't great. But I did see this coming up, and I grab it. Yeah, I don't really have the best example for what I'm talking about. But basically, on this one, for example, instead of doing that, if I didn't get a free piece, I could have rode this part. Because basically, when you're in this, you're at the very edge of the wind tunnel already when you're coming up. And so if you exit the wind tunnel as fast as possible, you can land and start running to where you need to be quicker, right? A lot of people will lose 1 to 2 seconds, and it's really deceptive. Like, you'd be surprised on how much time it loses, is what I'm trying to say. So keep that in mind. You don't, especially if you're grabbing your piece 1 on Sandy Path side, you don't need to look for the free pieces, because you're going to be coming back to this section anyway, right? It's good to know that they're there, but when you're coming back, like here, for example, let's see if the movement, because either way, I do have to come back. See, like here, like I could jump into the wind tunnel, and this is what I would normally do. Obviously, this isn't a great example, but I'll jump into the wind tunnel or around in this section and turn my camera to face this. There's like many different ways that you can see if the free pieces are here, and I think a lot of people waste time looking for them when they don't need to. Like when you're going for a piece 1 over here, you're going to have to come back, so there's no risk of missing it because you only have your piece 1, right? So if you see this piece, then you can just fly to it, and you already have a hint from this area, and then you know where you're supposed to go. So yeah, I think Wild Canyon actually has like some of the most interesting routing decisions in the stage. And if you haven't really thought about it too much, you might be making some unoptimal decisions. So yeah, I hope this helps, and good luck getting those better times.